Hello viewers, welcome back. It's 29th of March, 11 p.m. and today we'll continue reading from page number 196. So let us set up the timer. Yeah. Chapter 16: How to stick with good habits every day. In 1993, a bank in Abbotsford, Canada hired 23-year-old stockbroker named Trent Drismid. 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 Abbotsford. Abbotsford was a relatively small suburb, tucked away in the shadow of nearby Vancouver, where most of the big business deals were being made. Given the location and the fact that Drismid was a rookie, nobody expected too much of him. But he made a brisk progress thanks to a simple daily habit. Drismid began each Dersmit began each morning with two jars on his desk. One was filled with 120 paper clips, the other was empty. As soon as he settled in each day, he would make a sales call. Immediately after, he would move one paper clip from the full jar to the empty jar, and the process would begin again. Every morning I would start with 120 paper clips in one jar and I would keep dialing the phone until I had moved them all to the second jar, he told me. Within 8 months, Dismid was bringing in 5 million to the firm. By age 24, he was making 75,000 per year, the equivalent of $125,000 today. Not long after, he landed a six-figure job with another company. I like to refer to I like to refer to this technique as paperclip strategy, and over the years, I have heard from readers who have employed it in a variety of ways. One woman shifted a hairpin from one container to another whenever she, hairpin from one container to another whenever she wrote a page of a book. Another man moved a marble from one bin to another to the next after each set of push-ups. Making progress is satisfying, and visual measures like moving paper clips or hairpins or marbles provide clear evidence of your progress. As a result, they reinforce your behavior and add a little bit of immediate satisfaction to any activity. Clear evidence of your progress. Okay. As a result, they reinforce your behavior and add a little bit of immediate satisfaction to any activity. Visual measurements Visual measurement comes in many forms: food journals, workout logs, loyalty punch cards, the progress bar on a software download, even the page number is in even the page numbers in a book. But perhaps the best way to measure your progress is with a habit tracker. How to keep your habits on track. A habit tracker is a simple way to measure whether you did a habit. The most basic format is to get a calendar and cross off each day you stick with your routine. For example, if you meditate on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, each of these days gets an X. As time rolls by, the calendar becomes a record of your habit streak. Countless people have tracked their habits, but perhaps the most famous was Benjamin Franklin. Beginning at age 20, Franklin carried a small booklet everywhere he went, and he used to track 13 personal virtues. The list includes goals like lose no time, be always employed in something useful, and, and Avoid trifling conversations. At the end of the day, Franklin would open his booklet and record his progress. Jerry Seinfeld, reportedly uses a habit tracker to stick with his streak of writing jokes. In the documentary comedian, he explained that his goal is simply to never break the chain of writing jokes every day. Never simply to never break the chain of writing jokes every day. In other words, he is not focused on how good or bad a particular joke is or how inspired he feels. He simply focuses on showing up and adding it to his streak. Don't break the chain is the powerful mantra. Don't break the chain of sales calls and you'll build a successful book of business. Sales call and you'll build a successful book of business. Don't break the chain of workouts and you'll get fit faster than you'd expect. Don't break the chain of creating every day and you'll end up with an immediate impressive portfolio. Habit tracking is powerful because it leverages multiple laws of behavior change. It simultaneously makes a behavior obvious, attractive, and satisfying. Let's break down each one. Benefit 1. Habit tracking is obvious. Recording your last actions create a trigger that can initiate your next one. Habit tracking naturally builds a series of visual cues like the streak of X on your calendar, X's on your calendar, or the list of meals on your food log. In your food log, when you look at the calendar and see your streak, you will be reminded to act again. Research has shown that people who track their progress on goals like losing weight, quitting smoking, and lowering blood pressure are all more likely to improve than are all more likely to improve those that than those who keep a daily food log list twice as much as that initiate the next one. Habit tracking naturally builds a series of visual cues like the streak of X's on your calendar or the list of meals in your food log. When you look at the calendar and see your streak, you'll be reminded to act again. Research has shown that people who track their progress on goals like losing weight, quitting smoking, and lowering blood pressure are more likely to improve than those who don't. One study of more than 1,600 people found that that those who kept a daily food log twice as much lost twice as much weight as those who didn't. The mere act of tracking a behavior can spark the urge to change it. Habit tracking also keeps you honest. Most of us have a distorted view of our own behavior. We think we act better than we do. Measurements offer one way to overcome our blindness to our own behavior and notice what's really going on each day. One glance at the paper clips in the container and you'll immediately know how much work you have or haven't been putting in. When the evidence is right in front of you, you are less likely to lie to yourself. Less likely to lie to yourself. Benefit 2. Habit tracking is attractive. The most effective form of motivation is progress. When we get a signal that we are moving forward, we become more motivated to continue down the path. In this way, habit tracking can have an addictive effect on motivation. Each small win feeds your desire. This can be particularly powerful on a bad day. When you are feeling down, it's easy to forget about all the progress you have already made. Habit tracking provides visual proof of your hard work, a subtle reminder of how far you have come. Plus, the empty square you see each morning can motivate you to get started because you don't want to lose your progress by breaking the streak. Sorry. Benefit 3. Habit tracking is satisfying. This is the most crucial benefit of all. Tracking can become its own form of reward. It is satisfying to cross an item off your to-do list, to complete an entry in your workout log, or to mark X on your calendar. It feels good to watch your results grow, the size of your investment portfolio, the length of your book manuscript, And if it feels good, then you are